This is Jonathan Aguilar here for Pro Boxing Fans. Delighted to be joined by Epic Sports and Entertainment boss Ivaylo Gotzev, also co-promoter, of course, to Kubrat Pulev. Ivaylo, good to have you on. How are you?
Lovely to have you and all of the UK fans. You know, we're gaining fans by the day here now. I understand that Joshua taking so long and getting into some sort of trouble back home in England. I might as well be, fighting and thinking about fights, because anything outside of the ring, it's not his business. It's not his thing, So we're awaiting this big date to come to be announced by him and his lovely promoter, Hearn. I understand now that there's new scenarios, and I'm not sure anymore whether we got attacked by the land or by sea. So we're getting our frigate ready in case we need to land on a boat, and we have plans for that.
We'll get into all of this in a moment. First of all, you're in Bulgaria now. I know you've travelled over from America, I believe.
Yes, from Las Vegas to straight to Bulgaria. Actually, short 12-hour trip, not a big deal. We're getting ready. We're getting the troops ready for a battle, and we're here to set up camp for Kubrat. We're going to start in Bulgaria, right here by the Black Sea.
What's the situation like in Bulgaria and Las Vegas at the moment, obviously, following the coronavirus pandemic?
Well, I mean, the coronavirus is becoming a little bit difficult to follow anymore, because there's so many opinions about the virus itself and how to handle the virus. It's up to each particular government to play their role in a big game of the coronavirus. And I'm quite honestly, I personally think enough is enough. People should resume back to their lives with precaution, obviously. They got to be cautious about the elderly. To be masked or not to be masked, those are questions that everybody could individually answer for themselves, rather than being governed and, and told what to do. Anyway, I don't want to get deep into that because it's a global issue. We're here to resolve our little issue, which is a fight, Joshua versus Pulev. It's a tiny little bit of an issue. There are 4 belts on the line, and we've been in that line for a long time now. So it's time to go to work for AJ and his promoter, lovely Mr. Eddie Hearn.
What was your initial reaction when the fight scheduled for June 20th was cancelled?
Well, like everybody else in business and in the world of today, we took a blow. Nevertheless, we took a blow below the belt, setting this date back, and not being certain of when exactly it's going to happen has been a challenge. But I believe with effort, collective effort, everything can be overcome in life. And it's a fight that needs to happen. Basically, there's a signed contract, there's an agreement in place, and there's no way out of that one. Unless they want to break the agreement, break the contract, and be found at fault.
On that, obviously, in the interim, sort of during this period where there was no boxing, we did find out news that 2-fight deal had been agreed between Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury for 2021. There was some talk of possible step-aside money. I assume this was never really considered from your end.
Well, we never really wanted to do a step-aside, nor we want to forfeit our number 1 position, which was earned by blood, sweat, and tears, in that order. This isn't something that you just easily assume in life where you're given. You got to fight for it, literally. And Kubrat has fought for it 2 times already. He's been number 1, 2nd time in a row. We've been waiting for 3 years now. And it's the right time, the right moment, for this fight to take off. Now, I know there are big plans. There's a big British-UK showdown plan. Tyson Fury versus Joshua. Me as a fan, yeah, maybe I want to see it, but the first things first, Kubrat is in his face. That's the proper challenge. He's a number 1 contender. Deal with that first. Go ahead and deal with it, AJ. Be a man. Be a man. Show something we haven't seen in your last 2 fights. All right? So here we are, ready and willing. When is he?
What update can you give us on this fight between Anthony Joshua and Kubrat Pulev? There's obviously been discussion of venues in Croatia, London, a boat. What conversations have you sort of had with Eddie Hearn and Matchroom?
Well, this is why I'm sitting here. We're getting our frigate ready in case we need to attack by sea. You know, by land or by sea, this fight must happen. Croatia was an excellent choice. We were welcomed in an arena in Pula. It's an open-air arena based back in the Roman Empire where real gladiators didn't blow them up. They were actually using swords back then. But we want to play by the rules. We want to wear the gloves. And there's a beautiful arena still standing today. And it would be, I mean, an epic battle. It would be something that's noble, something never been seen before in modern times. Why not? I mean, we had the support of the local municipality. The arena wants us. Croatia can accept us. They have very low numbers in their pandemia, situation. So there he is. There it is. That's available to us. Boat, Eddie suggested, no problem. We'll jump on a boat and then get it on. Whatever it takes, we're ready to fight, ready to battle, by land or by sea.
Of those options, which one do you think is most likely to happen of where the fight might take place?
I mean, reading Eddie's not so complicated mind, you know, he says one thing that means another. And I'm sorry if he gets upset over these comments, but let's deal with reality here, Eddie. The number one and the only thing that they've thought about is getting back to London, UK, the Tottenham Stadium. Okay, we agreed to that. We signed a deal. It was June 20th, then it was July 25th, then it was, now we're waiting for business to resume as usual, which means selling tickets. It's a commercial interest we have in the fight. We want to sell 70,000 tickets, but look where we're living in today's world. You just don't know. There's no certainty whether we can have fans at all. And if we are going to have fans, let's be where fans are allowed. Somewhere special, like I said, maybe Croatia, maybe a boat, whatever it takes. The fans of boxing are basically asking for this fight. It's way overdue, and we're ready on our side. I think to answer your question once again, Eddie's never had any thoughts of doing anything else but London, UK, selling tickets, Tottenham Stadium, backyard, you know, all the proper treatment that they get, the preferred treatment they get in UK. Their own fans are in their backyard. We're willing to accept that challenge. We signed a deal, so let's go.
So what is holding up an announcement? Is it just sorting out a location? Is it financial? What is sort of the factors at the moment?
Okay, so that's really a question for Eddie. We do communicate to his office. Once again, I believe they're waiting on the particular governing and allowing fans back into the stadium. So I believe that's when things will start moving. Unless he's being truthful, unless he really has other options, unless we don't take those options, because we're ready on that side. Once again, the B side, the B for Bulgaria. We're coming strong, baby. Those are 3 Bs now.
There, obviously, Boris Johnson, Prime Minister, announced the other day that crowds should be back in the stadiums by sort of October time. So, are you sort of aiming for maybe November? Is that fair to say?
Was that Boris Johnson once again, the Prime Minister?
Yes, he said that.
I love that man. He's been a great man for England. I support him. I don't know that everybody else agrees with me, but if he says so, there we are. We're going to be October in northern London, facing Joshua in his backyard in UK, London, England.
How is sort of Kubrat doing at the moment? You said you're starting camp pretty soon. Is he in training ready?
He's been training, obviously, maintaining conditioning. His physical body is in great shape. His mind, his spirit is in great place. I have no doubt that he's going to be 100% prepared. And we want to explore all our strengths and all of AJ's weaknesses. So expect for this fight to happen, and expect this battle to be an epic showdown between 2 gladiators. And if AJ has any plans to back out, so he doesn't get knocked out, he doesn't get beat and embarrassed in London, let him do it now and not wait till October to do so. Because we can't take no more excuses, AJ. Enough is enough, son. We got to go to work now.
What excuses do you believe have been made?
Well, the obvious stuff, we need our fan, we need this, we need that, our own fans, our own backyard. We agreed to all those terms. Uh, I don't know if he's healing an injury. Now that I'll give him that. If he's injured, then come out and said, I'm injured. I need to October, November. We're not going to replace him. We cannot. Not like he did when, Kubrat had the injury here. They quickly replaced with Carlos to come, right? We're not in that position. We want AJ. We want the heavyweight champion of the world. We want to fight against him. So maybe that's an excuse, maybe, but he hasn't come through and clear with it, because if he's injured, we will give him the proper time to heal, because we want no excuses. Other than that, I mean, we agreed to all the terms, and we basically, we're there.
Although that's probably none of my business, I will have to ask, obviously, since this pandemic's happened, there's been no crowds, meaning sort of some purses, I believe, have been sort of lowered since then. Is that another issue, or is the terms all fine and correct?
Well, listen, we have a deal. We made a very, very proper deal with them. There's percentages being called by IBF. We have agreed to those percentages, the split that is. So we'll take less as they take less. And we all got to agree that it's the same pot, and everybody gets their piece of the pot, so simple. That's definitely not an issue on our end. Definitely not an issue.
In terms of the fight itself, I think the overriding consensus in the UK especially was that Anthony Joshua would beat Kubrat Pulev. People were saying sort of the style matches up for him perfectly. What do you say to those people, and why?
Well, all I say,
you have?
come on in. I say, let's do it. Let's show the world how ready AJ, how prepared he is, how superior athletically he is over Kubrat. Let's see how big a puncher he is. Let's see the size of his heart, because that's where it lies. I believe it's in the man's chest right here, right in the center, about the center, slight to the left. There is a very important component in the body. It's called the heart, the soul of a man. And that's what we want to find out if he still got. Because in the last two fights, he failed to deliver. He failed to represent every championship of the world properly. So now we're looking for excuses. We're talking about how big and strong he is. Prove it. Prove it. He's young. He's strong. He's ready. So let's do that. And let's prove the fans who's right and who's wrong. Let's show them what they're waiting for.
In this sort of second fight, we obviously saw him win back the heavyweight championship. What didn't impress you about that performance?
One more time, I have a little bit of a...
Sorry.
Going in the back. Go ahead.
We saw Anthony Joshua beat Andy Ruiz in the rematch last time out. You said you weren't impressed. What did you not like about the performance?
Well, what did I not like is he didn't take any chances. He didn't box. He didn't display a fighter's heart. I mean, he boxed clever, very boring. He ran away from a man that wasn't, in proper shape. I mean, he basically fought a very grotesquely overweight man who wasn't in shape to fight him, to go 12 rounds. So he could have taken a challenge and made few exchanges, made it more. Excuse me. Did I lose you there because somebody?
I've got you.
All right. So basically, he could have taken a little bit of a risk. Maybe not a big one, because I understand how important it was for him to gain his titles back. Important for him and Eddie to get back in business. But in boxing, you got to provide the fans with a little bit of drama, which is taking a challenge, taking a risk. And there is a risk versus reward. I guess he bet really on the reward rather than, he didn't want to risk anything. The reward was everything that mattered, and there was no risk taking whatsoever. So I said it before, I'll say it again. In the first fight with Ruiz, he looked like a deer on headlights. In the second one, he ran like a deer. If that sums it up, that's my feeling. That's how I saw the fight. Matter of fact, I was in studio commentating the fight. It was quite disappointing.
Just touching on what we spoke about earlier on about a 2-fight deal agreed between Joshua and Fury. Has that given you added motivation? Has that given Kubrat added motivation to perhaps ruin these plans?
I think that really takes away from the champion. His main focus should be his number one challenger, who's Kubrat Pulev. It definitely cannot hurt us, but it's not added fuel to our fire. We're on fire. We're ready for this fight. All these gimmicks and little games played, or whether they're business decisions they're making and planning for, that really doesn't bother us. We're coming to war, man. You know, that's all there is to it. We're coming to take the belts, coming to take the victory, bring it back home. We're way overdue to bring our first heavyweight champion of the world. Kubrat Pulev is the man. He's going to do it. That's all we care about. You know, all this little extra drama outside the ring does not affect us whatsoever. That's a little bit of a circus for Tyson Fury to have and Joshua to, you know, play the part.
You're in confident move. What's your prediction for how the fight plays out when we see it?
My prediction is going to be a brutal fight. There's another big for you. It's going to be a brutal fight. It's going to be brutal for Anthony Joshua because he's going to face a real man. And although his confidence was very much on a high in their first meeting when they met face to face, he didn't really know who he's going to challenge. Now he knows because Kubrat's proven himself in the past 3 years, while Joshua's his stocks have fallen. You know. So psychologically speaking, I think we're in an awesome shape. It's going to be a brutal fight. We're coming for victory. We're going to get it, whether it's a beat down or decision or it's a KO. We're not going to take preference. We'll take it in whatever order it comes.
Great stuff. Ivaylo, I appreciate you coming on, giving me your time in what looks like a lovely backdrop in Bulgaria.
Yes, it is. As a matter of fact, once we take the belts back to Bulgaria, all UK fans are welcome. We're going to basically party for a week long, whatever time of the year it is. We'll keep a full bar for everybody. Restaurants are open. All UK fans are welcome to Bulgaria once Kubrat knocks out AJ, who hasn't been a great representative of the UK lately. And I'm sorry to say that, but that's the general feeling. I read, by the way, the fans' comments on what he's done and how he's done it. And not many agree with what he's done. But that's not my battle to have. That's his.
Fair enough. Ivaylo, just before I let you go, if you had, say, a crystal ball and could predict when this fight might be confirmed, when would you say and where?
Let's see. My crystal ball is in my pocket, so let me take a quick look at it. I won't let you see it, but I'm looking at it. I'd say the fight happens first part of November. That's what my crystal ball says. But again, there is a little wizard out there, the Wizard of Oz, who might change things around and do it a week or two earlier. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But we're ready for October, November, whenever it comes. We'll give it to the fans, and that's what they deserve. I mean, Tyson Fury has done the right thing. He's going to basically go against Wilder for the third time, December 19th. They announced, so now it's time for AJ to take a turn and announce the fight.
Okay, brilliant. Ivaylo, I'll let you go. Good to speak to you, and hopefully we'll catch up and hopefully the fight is announced.
Thank you very much. You're welcome anytime. Once again, Black Sea is open. Restaurants are open. Hotels are open. Bulgaria is a lovely place. So we're going to keep a lot of doors open for the UK fans once we get in the titles.
Perfect. Ivaylo,
right.
Thanks for coming on. We'll catch up soon, okay?
All right. See you guys.